Hi, Puifan, how are you?
Hello.
晚上睡觉衣着不整，睡觉时新陈代谢排出的污浊之气都会影响祖先，这是大大的毒劲之一。二，在床头放什么能带来好运？我们会在床头放很多的生活用品，如果能够放这几样东西，就可以帮助自己的运势增长。这些
Sorry, I'm working. Yeah.
床头放一杯水，床头放一杯水，不光可以在半夜口渴的时候喝，还可以给自己的身体带来好运。不要是饮料，尤其是碳酸饮料，只有身体好一些，才会迎接运势。
Hi, I think someone's audio is on. Can I trouble you to maybe mute yourself
不管是在家中的哪
so that we are able to, you
都
know?
是可以的。但是如果选择在床头摆放书籍，大大增加延续。
I think they need to see.
What they need to see.
They're looking at people. See the people, they're active. They just mute.
She also.
They just mute. How come my face not there?
Because your camera is off, you can mute.
Okay, we will just wait for 1 more minute. Yep. And then we will start shortly. Yeah. Hi, Pauline. Okay, so I think the briefing will take about 30 minutes or so. But if anyone has any queries, then it will be longer. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. If you do have any issues, let us know, yeah? Thanks.
Yeah. 让卧室。好了，本期的视频就给大家分享到这里，记得观看，参与回应云顶昨天安慰。如果您也喜欢本期内容，请点赞，还可以在右下角点击订阅、分享。您的支持对最大的动力。再见。
All right. Okay. So I think good evening. We will start now. I think my colleague Gina, she will be sharing the slides and starting with the briefing. So I think if there's any question from the ground, right? Appreciate if you can, maybe we will have a midway where we will pause for questions as well as questions at the end. Please don't be shy because I think it's a very exciting project and there's quite a lot of fun things to do. Yeah. So just maybe want to set some context first. There's going to be some quite a fair bit of technical information that will be shared, right? And also requirements for us to be to execute at each of the anchor site or festival sites. But really not to worry because we do have coaches on the ground. And I think we do appreciate Team Nila. I think especially those who have gone through, you know, the Team Nila Empowers and all that, you know, all this training. We do appreciate you having that. And if the information, right, if you feel that it's really a lot or it's really very technical, really not to worry, okay? Our coaches will be there. Our staff will be there. to help you to manage the crowd, right? So over to you, Gina.
Thanks, Aslina. Hey, thanks everyone for joining today's session. Okay, so I'll just run through the slides with you guys, and most importantly, I hope you guys are aware why you are here for the briefing, because it's actually, I mean, Get Active is here, and we want to rally Singaporeans to actually move more and move well together with us, so with Active Health. Okay. So for today's agenda, I will just take you guys through the overview of SPAG. In short, for Singapore Physical Activity Guidelines and our Active Health Public Education campaign. Most importantly, we'll run through what we'll be doing at Get Active Singapore at the Anchor site, as well as the rest of the other festival sites. And some of them also include Heartland sites. And of course, we will open up a Q&A session at the end. So do feel free to ask us any questions to clarify your doubts. Okay. So just to share a bit on Singapore Physical Activity Guidelines and the whole public education campaign. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this physical activity guidelines, but we have just recently launched a refreshed version in June. Yeah, and there are actually 6 segment groups that we are targeting and getting Singaporeans to essentially move more. So you can just look through it. I won't go too much into detail. You can actually read more. We'll actually send across this deck later, so you can actually click on the link and to find out more for each of these segments. Okay, so all these panels or even information will also be placed at our Anchor sites, so you can actually read more or even get participants or members of public to understand a bit more about these guidelines for each segment groups. Okay. Yeah, so maybe I zoom in a bit more about our Measuring is Knowing campaign, right? So this is also very much aligned with our Get Active key narratives of moving more and well through active health. And for Measuring is Knowing, for this year, okay, wait, before I get here, so last year we actually rolled out this Active Health Playmat. Most of you may already be familiar with it. So we actually rolled this out to public members and getting them to actually take home this Active Health Playmat where they can get active with their family and friends, right? And this year we will be using this mat again. And we do have some to give out to more public members. But for this year, we actually relook at the content, and we will be getting people to firstly measure up and go beyond the skills, because measuring is knowing and getting them to do a bit of movement teasers to find out how well they are currently doing in terms of their current health and fitness levels. Secondly, we are encouraging them to actually vary their movements and make every move count, right? Yeah, and last but not least, the call to action will be to direct members of public and inviting them to our Active Health Lab for fitness and health assessment as well as a functional movement screen. Okay, so I'll touch on this in the next few slides. So I'll run through more with you on Get Active. Okay, so with this key narrative, we will be having 3 different kinds of modalities in Get Active. So the first one is a Measuring is Knowing booth, what we term as the experiential or the big booth that will be held at Anchor site. So where Anchor site is at our sports hub at OCBC Square, and it will be held within a long period of time from 30th July all the way to 7th August. We also do have a small to medium booth. Small will be about 3 to 3 meters, and medium will be 5 by 5 meters booth at our festival as well as our Heartland sites. And this will be across the 2 weekends of Get Active Singapore. Last but not least, we have our Make Every Move Count workshop. This is where the playmat comes into play, and this will be across all sites from 30th July to 7th August. Okay. Yeah. So first and foremost, there is this the Measuring is Knowing experiential booth at Anchor site. So this booth essentially looks at getting people to find out about this 4Q model, right? So backed by sports science, essentially to get people to determine the direction in terms of how they move and whether if they are only using body weight or with external resistance. So as what Aslina mentioned earlier, our active health coaches will be down to guide you as well as the rest of the members of public through on how we can actually try out these movements and understand the kind of benefits it has, and also educate them on how they can actually mix up their activities through various challenges. So at each quadrant, there will be one challenge per quadrant, and I'll take you through later on. Right, so the key objective for this booth is essentially to create awareness for our campaign as well as active health, to get members of public to try out these challenges so that they understand the kind of activities that they can do in each quadrant, get them to understand the importance of movement variation based on this 4Q model, and last but not least, to get them to complete this a survey as well as a quiz. And the call to action, of course, is to sign up for our Make Every Move Count workshop and the rest of our offerings in the lab. Okay. Yep. So this is how the booth will look like, essentially. Yeah. So these are the 4 quadrants. And then we have these screens where you can find out a bit more about the 4Q. Yeah. So I'll take you through the flow in my next slide. Yeah. Okay, over here. Okay, so if you look at point 1, that's the first touch point, right? So that's where the workforce or even yourself will welcome participants to our booth. And we will actually distribute a 4Q fan, one per pax, as well as some stickers to go along if they have kids, right? And then we will lead them to the screen to find out more about the Singapore Physical Activity Guidelines. So over here, we will share briefly on active health as well as the SPAG and even our Measuring is Knowing campaign. And we will invite them to try out this LED screen to find out more. And once done, we will actually direct them to point 3 to an active health coach or even an active health representative. Okay. Yeah. So at point 3, the active health coach or an active health representative will then welcome the member of public into this experiential booth. We will explain what the 4Q model is briefly, and also to share with them what they will be required to do at each station. So if I may just take you through quickly on the 4 stations. Okay, wait, maybe, yeah, okay, maybe I'll just jump off to this slide so that you can have a better understanding. So the first one, it's on LLT. So that's our, what we call it, linear loaded training. Okay, there's too much info, but I will just go through it quickly. So for each of this quadrant, like the first one, LLT is to get them to move the shelf from point A to point B, or even to lift up a shelf, right? And this is a linear motion. So essentially to help them shift heavy items in a linear fashion, right? The second one is a ULT. So what we call unloaded linear training. So unloaded means that there's no weight involved. So it kind of increases their body weight strength and stability. So they can do like various tasks like walking on a narrow path, or even to avoid puddles. Yeah. So the challenge would be getting them to walk from one end of the beam to the other. The third one is called a loaded movement training. So where weights or external resistance is included, and this will essentially help them to increase their whole body strength for them to do daily activities like shifting loads, right? Like your gardening. So the challenge here would be to shovel the pebbles from one pot to another. And last but not least, it's the UMT, which is the unloaded movement training. So for this, it will be getting them to hit the lights, like how, whack the mole kind. So this is like whack a bug, getting them to hit once the light turns on. So it kind of increase your multi-directional strength and stability for various tasks of daily activities. Okay, so let me just move back to this slide. Okay, so essentially the active health coach or even the age rep will actually take them through all 4 quadrants. Okay, and what the member of public will then need to do would be to scan a QR code located at each quadrant once they've complete that quadrant and save these pictures in their phone. So at point 4, once they complete all 4 stations, we will get them to complete a quick survey and direct them to the 4Q screen in point 5. Okay, so at point 5, we have an event crew who will help to check whether if the MOP have completed all 4 stations, and of course get them to delete the 4 images from their phone, get them to also test their knowledge through a simple quiz on the screen. And once that is completed, we'll get them to spin and win and direct them to our workshops. Okay, I'll move on. So essentially, this is what is required of you, of our workforce at the booth. Okay, so welcome them to the booth. We share with them about AH, SPAG, and MIK, distribute fans and all. And then during the experiential space, we explain to them what 4Q is about and the importance of movement variation. Conduct the challenge for them, get them to scan the QR code and fill out the survey, lead them to complete the quiz and do a spin and win. Okay, yeah. So next, this is measuring is knowing small to medium booth. This is the one that we will be bringing down to festival as well as heartland sites. Okay, wait, before I move on, just like to take a pause here to ask whether if anyone have any questions, especially with regards to the anchor site booth. Okay, if not, I will move on and we'll take questions later. Yeah, so for this, it will be slightly different from the anchor site booth because for this smaller booth, there will be 2 movement teasers that we will be introducing. One would be the Y balance test and the other one would be shoulder mobility. Again, our active health coaches will be down to guide participants on how they can use these teasers to understand how well they move. Most importantly, it is to guide them to understand movement variation based on the 4Q model, their unique benefits, and learn how to mix the activities up to maximize health benefits. So again, the key objectives here will be to create awareness on active health as well as our campaign. Get them to try out on these movement teasers to understand how well they're moving at this current state. Allow them to understand the importance of movement variation and to get them to complete a quiz. So call to action is the same thing. Get them to sign up for our workshops, as well as the rest of the other offerings in our lab. Okay, so we will send across these slides for you to look through in detail, but essentially for the Y balance, this is no different from what we have been doing on the active health playmat. So what we will require participants to do is to understand their front reach. So, place one foot on the mat and the other to reach out to the front. And then we will assess their dynamic balance in a single leg stance. So this particular assessment also assesses their lower body mobility as well as strength. Okay, so what we are looking to educate public members would be that having this ability to maintain a stable position is important because it allows them to perform their daily activities with ease and also reduce the likelihood of injury. So for this particular assessment, they will need to measure on both legs. And if there is a difference in more than 4 cm, there is actually an increased risk of lower body injury. So that's what we need to take note of. The second one is shoulder mobility. So for this one, it's important to do a safety check on their shoulder pain, and also to let them have a go on this shoulder mobility test. But I think most importantly, what maybe one thing that I would like to point out, especially for seniors, or even some of the participants who are not so mobile, they may or may not be able to even reach, to their back. And something to note is we also don't want them to get injured, so do not pull their hands and whatnot. So this is basically a test for them to understand where they are currently standing. Okay, it's not for them to do well in it. Okay, so this is how you can actually perform a shoulder mobility. Yeah, so first we need to measure their hand length, and then to create a fist on both their hands, and then reach the right fist over their head and down to the back, as well as the left fist up the back. So we will measure the distance between the two fists. Okay, this is the interpretation for each of it. I will not go through this in detail, but I think you can read through the slides later. Okay, so for the next one, this is what is required of you at the smaller booth. So again, we will require to share about Active Health, our campaign, as well as SPAG, distribute fans, and also get them to try out these movement teasers and fill out a survey. Right after that, they can actually just complete a quick quiz via a screen if there is. Some of the sites may not have, so it will be just via a QR code. And once that is done, we will pass them an Active Health playmat and a premium. Same for the anchor site as well. We will be passing them Active Health playmat. Yeah, and a premium. The only difference is for the sites, for the festival sites, there will not be a spin. There will not be a. We do not have a spin and win mechanism, so we will just distribute the whichever premiums that we have on ground. Okay. At the festival sites as well as the heartland sites, we may have a make and remove count workshop. So, and this make and remove count workshop may or may not have participants that have already signed up for this. So your duty will also be to encourage participants on ground to actually sign up for our workshop on the spot. Okay, so for festival sites, there are 5 festival sites in total. It depends on which one you have volunteered for, but this is a quick breakdown of the dates and the locations. So only Heartbeat at Bedok, Sengkang, as well as Jurong Lake Gardens will we be carrying out our Make and Remove Count workshop. For Toa Payoh and Choa Chu Kang, it will only be the booth. Okay, so moving on to the Make and Remove Count workshop. This is similar to what we have done for last year in terms of the Active Health playmat. But this year there is a refreshed content. So we will still be featuring some simple movement assessments, exercises, and activities that they can do using the playmat. But this year we'll be introducing a 4Q model, the one that we mentioned earlier at the anchor site, to create awareness of their movements and also to improve their movement competency through a movement variation, by getting them to mix up the activities so that the activities will not be too repetitive, and this will also decrease any pains and injuries that they may have and maximize their health benefits. Okay, so the key objectives would be similar. I will not go through it. It's the same. Okay, and the Make and Remove Count workshop, other than having it at the festival sites, we'll also be conducting it at the anchor sites. So at the anchor site, we have it both at the stage area as well as the visitor center. You can see the dates on the right-hand side. So what's required of the team NILA or even for active health engagement team member would be to set up 30 to 60 minutes before the session. We will need to get sign-ups. Like I mentioned earlier, there may or may not be participants. So we can walk around on ground, even at our booth, to get members of public to sign up. Get them to save a screenshot of the sign-up page and present it when they arrive at the during their slot. Okay, and of course we will need to set up very simple pull-up banners and probably lay a few mats on the ground. For those who did not sign up earlier but managed to go down to register, they will have to register on site. And for those who have signed up earlier, they will just need to show the page. Okay, so we pass them a mat if it has not been laid out, as well as a deck of cards. We call it the play cards, and a 4Q fan. Okay, so during the session, your role will be to facilitate the warm-up as well as to assist our active health coach as facilitators to demo the warm-up exercises and the movement assessments. Okay. Okay. So next, I'll move on to the Heartland sites. So for Heartland sites, there will be no booth per se. For both Heartland sites, we will be bringing down the Make Every Move Count workshop. So this is essentially the program rundown. Okay, we will conduct 2 or 3 sessions of the Make Every Move Count workshops. Okay. Similarly, so one is at Waterway, the open field near Waterway Point, and the other will be at Wisma Geylang Serai. Okay. So for some of these locations, we will also be having our NILA roving there. Okay, now last but not least, I'm sure you guys are aware of this Game On NILA. So we will be putting our Game On NILA QR code at our booths at Sports Hub, the festival, as well as the Heartland sites. So when if any members of the public would like to scan this Game On NILA QR code, they will have to go through one of the segments. So for example, at the experiential booth anchor site, they will have to go through our experiential tour first before they can actually scan this QR code. At the small booth, they will have to try our movement teasers, and even at the labs, they will need to take part in any of our workshops or even offerings before they can scan this QR code. Okay, so just something to take note of. Okay, I've come to the end of this briefing, so now I'll open to the floor to take any questions.
Hi, James here.
Hi,
Yeah,
James.
are you going to share the slides to us?
Yes, of course. We will
Okay,
share the
yeah.
slides with you
So
guys.
we can read again. Thank you.
That would be great. Thank you.
So, Gina,
Yes.
yeah, this is Gui. Gina, will you be sharing the attendance code for them?
Yes, I will be sharing. I'm so sorry, I forgot to include this in. Hold on.
No
Do you have it
problem.
with you right now? If not, you give me a while we wait for their
Okay.
questions. I will send it.
Okay, can. Wait for the question. I can
Yes.
key into the chat.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So Team Nila, we need you to help submit your attendance for this session because some of you have your shifts pending. So just wanted to ensure you all go through the briefing to have a better understanding the booths and what you may be expected to do. So let me just key in our FormSG link and then the code for today.
Thank you so much, Queen.
stay on the field, right? Can be on the field, Okay, sorry.
I think there was a question regarding the dress code.
Dress code. Hello, can you hear me?
So yeah, for dress code would be Team Mila shirt.
Mm.
Yeah. So later on, Active Health team will be assisting to create the coordination chat groups. Then once you're inside, if you don't have your shirt yet, you can let us know. Give us your sizes, your names. We will collate and we'll pass it to the sites the venue, so that you can pick it up.
Yeah, so like what Pui mentioned, Aslina will actually be creating the chats for all of you. Yeah, so if there's any queries or anything, you can also send it across to us. She'll be sharing with you on your shifts or your duties, as well as who you can contact during your shift. Okay, sorry, I stopped share, so now I can see your questions. Where's OCBC Square? OCBC Square is at Sports Hub. So you know where Cheers is, in front of Cheers or in front of the Stadium MRT station. That big space. Yeah. Where's the location of Sports Hub anchor site? It will be at OCBC Square. So if I'm not wrong, if you take MRT, you come out from exit A, and then you just walk facing Kallang Wave Mall. That whole big space, that's the OCBC Square. Thanks, Astina. I think she has shared the location.
Yeah, I think don't need to worry so much about the site, because I think all most of our team Mila are familiar. If you have attended the mass rally, that is the OCBC Square. Okay,
Yeah.
and then if you're lost, that's where the coordination chat group helps. So just text anyone inside to say that you are here, but you cannot see anyone, you cannot find anyone. Anyway, all of you should be familiar with the AH. They have very distinctive, the orange and the logo. So just reach out to us, no worries.
Okay, and if you haven't click on the link that Pui sent, please do so to mark your attendance.
So Gina, the slides you will be sending as a file to us.
Yeah.
Uh,
I will help to PDF the slides and send it in the chat group. Is that okay?
Okay, you can send to, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can send to me also in case I need to send to
Okay.
newly signed up. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Will there be a
Thanks.
record?
Yeah,
How
I'm
about the
recording the
recording
session
of
now.
this one?
Yeah. So I'll
Ah.
probably send the recording.
Yeah, so they can see Gina doing the briefing. She went through all the stations. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, I think that's all. If you don't have any questions, it seems like everyone is well briefed and ready to rock on GSG with us. Okay, so Pui, if that's all, we can close the session so everyone can have a good rest.
Yeah, I'm good. So everyone, before you leave, please submit your attendance. The code has been shared earlier. Is AHGASG. Okay. Yeah, it's AHGASG.
Candice, don't worry. We will be sharing the slides across. So if you have any questions, you can still let us know.
Yep. I anyway we'll be sending the materials. It's just that for those of you on the pending shift, I just wanted to ensure you all attended the session. So do submit the attendance. Otherwise, any further queries, you can check in with us or the coaches directly on the chat group. And I think there were also a lot of queries because in the recent Get Active, there were a lot of chat groups being created. So just to share, because this is our operating model. So for Team Mila HQ, we typically create these coordination chat groups to reach out to our volunteers so that we can assist you, all your queries on the day itself, the shirts, and then what to bring, etc. So it's good to check in and verify. I think there were a lot of concerns because due to the recent, a lot of spam and etc. So the number may be unknown to you and you're concerned. So yeah, no worries. If you are not sure, you can always check with us. So like Lita is asking, right? GASG FAS AH, does this belong to you? Very likely so lah. Asina can confirm because this number, is it from one of your colleagues?
Which one is that? Sorry.
82233281.
Give me a minute, yeah. Maybe it's Tetris.
I think it's Tetris. Yeah. Yes, it is Tetris.
Yes, it is. It's our intern.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
Thank you. So sorry.
This camera.
We are dying here, so we really appreciate all the help from our intern as well. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, wait, before
Thanks for
before
checking.
we end off, right? I also want to,
Mhm.
I think I missed out a point earlier. So for those who have actually volunteered for the anchor site, be it whether it's at the booth or is it for MEMC workshop, just like to highlight that, if let's say there's no participants at the Make and Remove Count workshop, you'll also be required to help out at the booth and vice versa. So just to note we will move people around. I hope we are not just, we just fixated to one area because, during an event, we may or may not
Problem.
hit our
How about
ideal
uniform?
scenario.
Is there any uniform?
The uniform will be your Team Mila top. Team Mila
Team Mila,
tee.
so I can wear my
Yeah.
old.
The rainbow
Yeah,
one,
so-
right?
Yeah.
So I might
Team
have
Mila,
purple,
Team Mila top. I think it will be more of a sporting attire. I think you can wear please correct me, like maybe long Bermudas or long, like jeans, and so on, and then as well as covered shoes. Because I think some of the sessions there will be ministerial walk, like ministers coming to grace the situation, the session lah. But we won't bog you down with all the details.
I have only purple.
Sorry?
Oh, only the purple one. So maybe
Yeah.
we will
I
get
think
them
it's
the shirts.
okay, right?
No, I think all of
Yeah,
them need
it's
to wear
okay.
the rainbow tee
Okay.
or purple
Yeah,
tee is fine as
okay.
well. Okay.
Yeah.
Can,
Also,
so
I
let's-
think there's no space to keep bags. So maybe if let's say you are down for the event side, maybe like get a pouch so that you can just and come light lah where possible. Yeah, with just your phone, your money, and your water bottle. Thank you so much.
Yeah, please hydrate along the way. It's gonna be hot. I think maybe jeans, maybe we can skip that. Are they okay to wear just shorts and bums because it's gonna be a hot day?
I won't recommend jeans also.
Yeah. So just shorts, but maybe not
weather-
too short lah. Okay.
Yep. Mid-length, berm
Mid-length.
pants, nothing too short.
Yeah.
Track pants is fine. I think,
Mhm.
don't wear jeans. Jeans is really quite horrible.
Yeah. I think okay, just one
Other than
last
that-
thing to highlight on my end. I think Pui, this one please help to jump in as well. I think for Team Mila, we will also be reimbursing them in the form of Active SG My Cash. So would that be the arrangement?
This one we will confirm because there's different operating for different sites. For
Okay.
example, maybe Heartbeat at Bedok. I mean, I just need to double check. For sites where the eating places are pretty accessible, and where my cash can be utilized, you may be given my cash yeah, that's loaded to your Active SG account. But where the site is, you know, maybe like Sengkang, where nearby there's not much eating choices, bento would have been indented for the volunteers. So there will be different models for different sites. Hello, hi Candice. So this one on the various chat group, maybe let us just chime in. When I get the details, I will share to the various chat groups.
Yeah, I think that would be great so that they are aware whether they
Yeah.
are getting like food or cash so that they can prepare accordingly. Lah. Okay, I think that's
Yeah,
all
ask
I have.
Lena to prepare all the healthy lunchtime. Bring out your cooking ware, repeat the Sentosa experience. Sorry, I just want to add on, just now the attendance, because there is a slight modification to the form. So you should select, the first question, you should select others. Okay, because you have not started volunteering yet. So for today, the briefing, just select others, then proceed normally, right? Fill in your details, then you select training, then you just fill in AH at GASG as the training title. Yeah.
Oops.
And
Sorry,
then just
just
key in
ignored
the code. Ken. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Ken, if you already fill in, just fill in again. No problem. Formatry will not limit you.
Where is the form?
I tried to copy and paste, but I don't know why my email came out. Pui, can you reshare the link? Because I can't seem to copy and paste it.
For some reason, I also cannot copy and paste. Also wonder why.
Yeah.
Is it a Zoom? Is it a Zoom thing?
Never mind, let me type it out again so whoever missed it can just, and then we can end off the session.
Yeah. Actually, our team should, most of them should be very familiar. Y'all know one, right? Y'all.
There you go.
Yeah. Because all the Nila here, all the experienced one. Hui Fan, Kong Fui, Lita also. Hello. Hi, Shane. Hi.
The training IC, none of the name is inside leh.
Training IC?
The training IC, because you say select others, the category you select others opportunity, so I select others will have details of attended opportunity. So I select training, okay? So under training, they have IC. So none of the name is inside here leh.
Your name, you select me.
Just select Pui because it's in there.
Yeah, you choose me. Then I will check your attendance.
Can.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, thank you. Yeah, see, James is so experienced. Always help one another. Correct or not? You share the code. Thank you, Patricia. Good to see
We are
you.
now in the Zoom.
Glad that you could make it.
Why we still need to have a sign up for attendance?
Yeah, this is just to take note that those of you who attended this briefing today, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else got further queries? If not, no worries. Like Gina said, if you have further things later on that you want to ask, you can check in with us on the chat group.
Okay.
And
have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Same to all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Pui, for helping. Thank you, Team Nilas. Really appreciate. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Please sleep
Thanks,
well before
Pui.
our session, okay?
Bye.
Thanks, Prifan.
Bye-bye.
Prifan house look like Merry Christmas like that. Got the Christmas feel. Oh, got the Christmas feel, right? Somehow. The warm lighting and everything. Nice.
Hi,
Okay.
Gina.
Okay.
Gina, can you hear me? I'm Patricia here.
Yes.
Yes, because early I sent you a link earlier. 10 minutes late. So the first portion I actually missed it. The briefing.
Hello? You're breaking
Can you hear
off. Hi.
Yeah. I came 10 minutes late, so I actually missed the first portion of the briefing.
Mm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So is there anything that's important over the first 10 minutes?
I don't know where you came in though.
From the beginning, I did not see you.
Yeah, so at the beginning, we shared a bit more about our campaign. And what will we be doing for Get Active in the various booths.
Oh, okay.
So maybe can I just check where will you be volunteering?
Wisma, Geylang Serai.
Is that the only one?
Yes.
That's the only one. Okay,
Yes,
so
because I also doing the dance motivator there.
The what? The what? Sorry.
Dance motivator on the actual day, so 7th of August.
I see. Okay. Hold
Yeah,
on.
for Patricia, she is MEMC trained. So because she's going to be at Wisma Geylang Serai for the Dance of the Nation, so she will help out at the MEMC workshop.
I see. Hold on, give me a minute. Maybe I just quickly take you through because I think that was quite simple. Okay, so no problem, Patricia. So if you look at this slide, right, essentially, for Make and Remove count is I would say I'm not sure whether how much you know about the Active Health Playmat. You came across that, right? Or do you know that we have actually given out that to public members last year? We distributed this Active Health Playmat. So this year we were actually bringing back this Active Health Playmat and we are actually giving more to public members. We are refreshing our content for this workshop, and this year the workshop title is changed to Make and Remove count. We will be featuring our simple movement assessments, exercises, and even some activities using this playmat. And these movement teasers will be introduced to test how well one will be moving. So like we'll be doing the Y balance test, but most importantly, we'll be introducing this 4Q model where they will actually create awareness on how they move and to improve their movement competency through movement variation. So moving in the 4 different quadrants. So like for example, whether with weights or without, so that's loaded or unloaded, and whether they are moving in a linear fashion, like for example, your push-ups, as opposed to a multi-directional, like your like Russian twist, for example. Right, so we are trying to get people to move it, to have various, or rather to have movement variation in their activities and mix them up so that they do not do the same activities over and over again, and they can actually reduce or decrease the potential of having any pains or injuries. Yeah, so that's the gist of this whole workshop, and the key objectives for this will be to create awareness for our active health as well as the campaign, and get them to join our Make and Remove count workshops if they haven't, as well as to get them to understand the importance of incorporating these movements based on the 4Q model. Okay, so
Hi Gina, the Make and Remove count I have actually attended the training session.
Then perfect. So you actually know what's going on.
I just volunteered with you recently at the Sports Hub.
Yes. Okay, then perfect. So you went through it and you understand. Oh no, poor Catherine.
Yes. The Energizer Fiesta, Sports Fiesta.
Yes, correct. I know, I saw you. So actually you already know what's going on.
Yep.
So for the one at Wisma Geylang Serai, there will be no booth. We will only be conducting this Make and Remove count workshop. And there will be 2 sessions of it. So that's pretty much about it. And your role there, right, would be to chochok people on ground to get them to sign up for our workshop. Because we do not have pre-sign-ups for this site. So we need to basically be there right from 5:30 to 6. That's the main key time slot. And then go around to ask participants to sign up for our workshops. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Right, and then on ground, we will need you to actually facilitate. So here, if I may just take you through. So over here, we will need them to you just help a bit on in terms of the setup of the banners or laying of the mats, but more importantly, to facilitate the warm up, facilitate as facilitators, to do demonstration of the warm up exercises or even the movement teasers or exercises. Yeah. Then for those participants who actually register on the spot, we will need to pass them a play mat, a deck of play cards, as well as a 4Q fan. Yeah. So pretty much about it for that. I think yours quite straightforward. So not to worry.
Got it, Gina. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay, that's all. I think you can all leave the chat. I mean the Zoom. Catherine, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
Catherine,
sorry,
you just
sorry, I'm
joined the
late.
session.
Yeah, I just came back from office.
No problem. We
Yeah,
actually finished the session already, and we'll be sending across the recording as well as the slides.
Okay.
So maybe take a look at the recording as well as the slides, and then let us
Okay.
know if you have any questions.
Sure.
From there lah, cause Aslina will be actually setting up like chats and also to include who you can actually contact on the day and things like that. So if there's anything that you're unsure of, you can just reach out to us.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And no
Okay,
problem.
thanks.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
rest. Okay,
Yeah, okay,
bye.
bye.
We'll close the
Gina, can you
session.
stay? Gina, can you stay for a while? Yeah, bye-bye,
Sure,
everybody.
sure. Bye-bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
Mm.
Bye,
Us, maybe
Catherine.
we
Bye,
stop.
Jenny.
Bye-bye.
Two of us?
We can
No.
stop the recording. We can stop the recording first. Then yeah, we can continue after.